So Dr. Christoph Schmiszek,
Yes, that's me.
I want to thank you for spending the time with us today and in the last few years supporting the Israeli opposition in a very meaningful way, including visiting us and giving us inspiration. Before we start, I'd like you to present yourself to the audience.
My name is Christoph Schmiszek. I'm a Polish member of the European Parliament. I was a member of the opposition party. After the election in 2023, I was Deputy Justice Minister. 2 years ago, I had the privilege and honor to participate in this beautiful gathering. I was really inspired by your work in Israel, and honestly saying, I took a bit of your ideas to Poland, and I'm pretty sure that also thanks to your involvement and to your ideas, the Polish democratic opposition was able to win the election in 2023.
I'd like you to try to describe Poland in 2015. The PIS takes over and in a very aggressive manner tries, the way Orban did in Hungary, to first go at the courts. What happened to the judiciary in Poland in the first years?
Well, I can tell you what happened in the first days, not years, first days of the new government. They took over the Constitutional Tribunal, which we can compare to your Supreme Court. They once again merged the office of the Minister of Justice and the Prosecutor General. He can do whatever he wants with the opposition, with chasing the opponents, with chasing the civil society. After that, they put their hands on the National Judicial Council, the constitutional independent body that nominates judges.
To our people, it's called the Va'ada Lebchirat Shoftim, which means they can start to politicize the judiciary at scale.
And they started to put their nominees not only to the Supreme Court, but also to the courts of the lower instances, which is the most dangerous for the lives of average citizen, you know?
And we're talking about hundreds and hundreds of new judges while they try to create a huge propaganda against the judges that are...
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is a very known pattern around the world, not only in Poland, in Hungary, but many other countries. The huge smear campaign started, you know, we had like hundreds of huge billboards on the streets, TV shows, TV series, you know, that were designed to present Polish judges as corrupted, as thieves, as perverted, a huge scale propaganda project against Polish judges.
The second move after taking the judiciary was to basically take over every media.
They took over the public media.
Happening right now as we speak in Israel.
Oh my God.
And it means that you take over every microphone.
The good thing in Poland was that the private media, which are extremely influential, stayed independent. But of course, there were so many attempts by using the state regulators to take over the private media. They passed a special law against private television, you know.
You are basically describing the current affairs in Israel in the last few weeks.
Well,
I heard you in one of your speeches telling people, build your own independence media, build your own infrastructure. Is that what you guys did?
Internet is, I mean, it's a tool of hatred, but also it's a tool of, you need to be creative. You need to be envisaging what people could search on internet. There are still ways of reaching out to people who are maybe not interested in political issues, not interested in social issues. So that was our idea, to reach out to people, not only with a traditional approach, media approach, but also with the creative ways of reaching out to people. And you know what? Maybe this is one thing which really worked in Poland. I was like absolutely amazed. In 2023, when we won the elections, I remember initiatives of young girls trying to reach out to other young girls by using, I don't know, fashion channels, shopping channels, tools you would never think that can benefit or can contribute to the democratic discussion.
I want to briefly touch the church and the Christian values that basically enabled the autocracy and the populist in Poland. Tell me about this coalition between populist ideas and just extreme religious ideas.
It was always alliance between the altar and the throne, between the church and the state. All the autocrats and dictators, they really want to have a blessing from these religious institutions. And church was very happy to bless them. Why? because of the money and because of the values. We saw that hundreds of millions of euros every year were pumped to the church as a gratitude,
And they supported, of course, the abortion ban is to please the church.
Of course.
Also persecuting the LGBT community.
Of course, the government paid its tribute to the church as an award for the support the bishops and the local parishes, local churches provided to the Law and Justice Party. But the line was crossed when the almost complete ban on abortion was introduced.
2020, right?
Yes, and that was a red line. Before the ban of abortion, we had mass protests against the destruction of the judiciary, destruction of the independent media. But when you looked at the crowds, they were mostly older people who were participating in the fight for democracy before the communism collapsed. And we were always complaining, where are the young people? Where are the young people? Why they do not care about democracy? Yes. But when they crossed the line, you saw that 70% of hundreds of thousands of people on the streets, there were young women and men supporting women. That was a changing moment, I would say.
And I want to ask you about the years in the desert. There were massive protests. The government was afraid. It retreated for a while, and then it started what we call the salami
strategy,
which is still in power in Israel. And I want to ask you, how were you able to regroup? Because that's for us is probably the most important lesson.
Yeah, we noticed the demonstrations died out. We couldn't see this energy, involvement, determinations. At that time, as politicians, we were terrified, seeing, oh my God, the civil society is giving up. I was also terrified that people just don't care. Now I can tell you, this is a natural process. They couldn't see the immediate effects of the demonstration. So now, from the perspective of time, I can tell you, nothing is lost. Only because people are not going to the streets. Nothing is lost because people are not screaming every day on the Kaplan Square. Nothing is lost because the energy and the frustration and determination is deeply in their heart. I can tell you from the perspective of time because I saw the turnout in 2023, which was the highest ever.
You guys almost shocked the world with a huge boost of hope that we can overturn populism. There is hope here.
At the very beginning, we promised we are going to form a coalition of democratic parties. From the very beginning, we were saying we are going separately, but one day after elections, we are going to meet at one table and we are going to form a government. People, when they go to the voting stations, they were voting for the left, for the liberals, for the center-right, but knowing that whoever you vote who is Democrat, one day after, there will be a democratic government, and that worked.
You were then appointed to the Deputy of Justice Minister. I think Israelis would love to know how hard it is after 8 years of polluting and politicizing almost every democratic institution in the country. How hard is it to go back?
Oh my God, this is really hard. Sometimes you think it is not doable, because just to give you a picture, in Poland we have 10,000 judges. More than 2,000 of them were appointed by the illegal National Judicial Council. From the lowest to the Supreme Court. They issued more than 3 million judgments in different areas like criminal law, civil law, family law, whatever judgment you can imagine. So what we did from the very beginning in the Justice Ministry, we said we are going to preserve all the judgments which were issued by illegal judgments. People cannot pay the costs of the destruction of the justice system.
It never ends.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Autocrats, they learn from each other. I'm pretty sure that your prime minister, he was consulting with the Polish Law and Justice government how to effectively take over the Supreme Court. They have a network. They learn from each other. We are still not as good as them in supporting each other.
But still, I'd like you, from your perspective, to try and give us some hope
I remember your energy and your involvement not only like 2 years ago at the conference. I also participated in the demonstrations surrounded by thousands of Israeli flags and people screaming democracy, demokratia. I saw your mobilization. I saw your determination. And please do not be disappointed when your colleagues, when your neighbors, when your friends are saying, I'm fed up with demonstrations. I'm fed up with being vocal about democracy. Look at Poland. Look what happened in Canada. Look what happened in Australia.
Christoph, I first of all want to thank you wholeheartedly for the support. I think that if populists all over the world are meeting constantly to write the playbook, it's time for us.
Yes, definitely.
Attacked globally by populism to write our own playlist, and you guys have proven that it's possible. So we get inspiration from you.
So, guys, don't give up. You are not alone. You are supported by so many people that believe that Israel can once again be a leader in democratic changes and democracy will prevail.